here. My expectation as a chefpreneur is that I want to know how to start a business with cooking and actually taking my cooking and turning that in the next level and being a chef.
To widen my mind and my ideas in cooking and also my skills to communicate with people and open up my range of opportunities.
And I'm here to learn, man. Like, here for the experience. Motivated. Yesterday got me really motivated, so I'm ready to keep going.
Some things that I hope to get from Chefpreneur Academy is to better learn the business aspect of basically cooking and developing a business plan for my own business one day.
Behind the scenes of like the food industry, the business industry, just to learn so I can apply it to myself. Some things I'll hope to take back to the chef is just the overall culinary skills to better myself as a cook.
A lot of the techniques, a lot of the stuff that we learn here will better help our sailors to develop and become themselves. So I think it will be great opportunity to help our sailors out.
Yep, what up, everybody? Hey, man, another Tuesday, Chefpreneur Academy, and we're fortunate to have you with us last week. Not last week, that was yesterday, wasn't it? Good Lord, time is flying. He's with us yesterday morning, or you saw yesterday's episode. We got with Cam Gordon. He was all the way from Spain. He is a food prep consultant. Gave us some great information, some great feedback. If you're not already following us over on Instagram, give us a Grammy over on Instagram at the Chefpreneur Academy, and on YouTube. You should give me on YouTube right now as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, tap in with us all the way. And I'm just the pilot. My navigator, Chef Tere, is in the building. Peace and love, Chef. Tell everybody who you are and where they can find you real quick.
Hey, everybody. It's Chef Tere. I am here for you tonight, chatting with Chef Jacoby. I'm excited. I'm tired. What did you tell me to do?
listen. I'm tired as heck too, man. It's a busy week. The holidays are upon us. Thanksgiving is coming. Christmas is coming. So it's a busy time for chefs, personal chefs, private chefs, restaurant chefs, resort chefs, hotel chefs. Everybody alike. It's a busy season for everybody. So definitely understand. But tell everybody how they can find you. Where are you located on social media? What's your handle?
Yes, you can find me. My business website is mysecretrecipe.pcs.com. mysecretrecipe.pcs.com. I'm also on Instagram, My Secret Recipe PCS. It's easy. It's all the same. Facebook and TikTok.
My Secret Recipe for sure. What made you come up with that name, Secret? Versus using your name, Chef Tere. Why are you pushing My Secret Recipe? And what's the secret?
The story behind My Secret Recipe, because my grandfather, my grandmother, my dad, all were excellent cooks. They always said, what's the secret in good food? The secret is love. It's a secret. So when I decided to join the culinary industry, the hospitality industry, I said, I'm going to have the best kept secret. It's going to be that I put love in everything. So the name of my business was born, My Secret Recipe. What is it? It's the worst kept secret. It's love.
Well, not only today, we're definitely joined by a heavy hitter in the game. I just found out about this amazing chef. We have a lot in common. I found out he's a former military brother, and he's a fellow chef. So he's triple threat on my end as far as being a brother. Chef Dorian Davis. I said it right, bro?
Yes, sir.
Dorian Davis. What's up, Chef? Tell us about who you are, man, and where we can find you.
Like you said, my name is Dorian Davis, and I am the executive chef of Fort Valley State University. You can find me on Instagram at ddavis@6774.
Heard. So, bro, listen, how we do this show, man? We just talk, man. We talk. We dive into a little culinary news, culinary history. We talk about the trends in the industry, what kind of got you started, some challenges of being an entrepreneur. Of course, you're working in the industry. but I'm pretty sure you have some entrepreneur stories and ventures that you can share with us as well. But we're all about enlightening up and coming chefs, trying to get it from behind the stove to CEO, becoming leaders in the kitchen. So we hope you have I know you have a lot of great stories to share with us. How long have you been in the industry? How many years?
I've been in the industry since 2019. I started off as a breakfast cook down at Hilton Garden Inn in Lithonia.
So are you from Georgia, from Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm from Georgia.
Okay. And then did you are you formally trained, culinary trained, or just kind of self-taught?
No, I went to Art Institute of Atlanta with Chef Tere. You know, me and her, that's how I met her. Art Institute of Atlanta. Got my associates with those guys and continued to work in the industry as I was going to school. Currently, I'm still in school, to be honest with you. I'll go to Johnson & Wales about 3 weeks out for getting my bachelor's in food service management. Then I start my master's MBA in hospitality.
Come on, bro. You see, listen, everybody watching. Everybody's watching. We've got a nice little crowd watching tonight, but go to school. Somebody asked me before, do you have to go to culinary school? And my answer has been yes and no. I've been doing this since 2010. So, wow, that's a long time. Prior military, culinary school, taught culinary school, resorts, all that kind of stuff. So people ask me, do you have to go to culinary school? I know my answer. What's your answer? People say, do you have to go to culinary school?
I agree with you. It's a yes and no. No, you don't have to. But if you want to get those leg ups and be seen, then having that professional piece of paper, that document, is always a plus. No, you don't have to. There's a lot of guys, you go to a lot of kitchens, a lot of guys started dishwashers, they worked their way up, they were bussers, and they worked their way up in restaurants. Next thing you know, they're sous chefs. Next thing you know, they're executive chefs. But no, you don't have to go to culinary school. But it does give you a leg up to have that formal training.
Right. Exactly. Chef T, and we talked to 3 people who went to culinary school. So, but if you had to do it again, Chef Tere, would you go to culinary school if you had to do it again?
It's the same. Yes and no. The connections are invaluable. The connections are invaluable that you can't get, or you may not get as soon as if you had gone to school.
Right, and I agree with that. There are some alliances and some brotherhoods and some sisterhoods and some things that you are able to do. So let's ask a tougher question. What do you guys think about the pop-up chefs? The chef in the last since COVID, a lot of chefs have been chefing. I guess they're chefs. I don't know what they are, but they got the chef on. They're on TikTok. They're putting cheese on everything. They deep frying lobster tail. They're doing all kinds of stuff. What are your thoughts on those chefs or food service people?
Well, I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking their hustle, their grind, whatever they're doing. But it's a good line, though. It's a solid line. Yeah, you can cater at home. You can go to somebody's house, but can you go into a busy restaurant and knock out 700 covers? Or can you go into a catering environment like I just left the Georgia Aquarium and do 5,000 people, 6,000 people, catered? So it's a solid line between, doing it at your house and doing it in a professional environment.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I felt some kind of way about it. About individuals who, since COVID, would get on. It worked for them. Like, let me back up. I've seen people who are not even chefs at all. You leverage the social media platforms, and they have grown their business. They got sponsorships. They're getting paid. They've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years on TikTok, dropping cheese. I say they put cheese on everything. Cheese and doing this other funky, culinary stuff. And they're getting sponsorships. They're sponsored by all type of brands. And you have chefs who've been in the industry working their butt off for 10, 15 years plus who are not even close to that. So for me, when I saw, because I was told during COVID, like, you should get on camera and I'm not even on damn camera. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not getting on camera cooking for nobody. This was like when COVID first hit. People like, you got to get on. I wish I would have done it now. High in sight 2020, but I didn't do it. So when I see people now that are just blowing up, man, they got sponsorships. They're getting these deals with different entities, and they're making money. And a lot of chefs who work their butt off are not getting anything at all. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like, they're not really chefs, right? What's the difference between a chef and a cook? What do y'all think? Is there a difference between a chef and a cook?
It's a big difference.
What's the difference between a chef and a cook?
Chef is that leader. A guy who's going to come in at 6 o'clock in the morning, leave 10, 11 o'clock at night. He has hands on in everything, every single aspect of the kitchen, either if it's pastry, hot side, cold side, garde manger. He knows every single thing that's going on. He knows what time service needs to go out. He's into the finance. He's into the inventory. He's into, the walk-ins, the storage, the receiving, every single thing that goes on in the culinary industry. That chef has his fingers in it. A cook, he's just worried about his station. He's on grill.
Right.
Hey, grill. Whatever's going on over here, I don't even care. Does it contain the grill? Nope, I ain't worried about it.
So it sounds like it's just an area of responsibility. Like,
yes,
chefs have a bigger scope of responsibility versus a cook who has that one little area of responsibility. Here's something that I always said. I said every chef is a cook, but all cooks are not chefs.
Exactly. Yes.
Chefs, as a chef, we are cooks. We are definitely cooks, but all cooks are not chefs. Like you said, chefs, they got the lead. They got to know when the order coming. It's so much. It's a broad scope. So my path, and I want to hear your path too. My path was, of course, line cook, then executive sous, then executive chef, and then I eventually became F&B director. What should be the path? I want to hear your path too. What should be the path of a chef who's coming out of culinary school? Should they go the traditional path of going through the ranks of the kitchen?
Yes, I would say that piece of paper. If you go to culinary school and you don't go into a industry job while going through culinary school, as soon as you graduate, you walk into a kitchen. That little piece of paper does not mean you're going to get a sous chef title. Does not mean you're going to be an executive chef of a 4 or 5 star restaurant. You have to work your way up. You have to start at the bottom, either being a prep cook or you being a line cook. Go do some internships. Me, myself, I did 2 internships. I did one down at Disney. I did one down at Hyatt Los Palms Resort. And just make a name for yourself. You got to learn the basics. You got to learn how to plate. You got to learn your cook temperatures. You got to learn how to work in these crazy environments. And under all this tons of pressure, showing up early, leaving late, and putting your blood, sweat, and tears. And you will get recognized. That little piece of paper does not say, you won't get recognized. It just says, I have a formal training, a formal background. But as you start working through those ranks, starting off from the bottom, going up, and then you'll appreciate the kitchen lifestyle. You'll enjoy it more.
Chef T?
Well,
private chef, personal chef. Let's get your feedback.
Say for me, like I said, I've never been in the commercial kitchen unless I'm visiting one of you guys. But for me, as a personal chef and private chef, yes, it helps you so much because you're learning. Just as a home cook, you may have a passion to be in the kitchen, but you don't know how to harness that. You don't. So going to school helps you learn the different cuisines. It widens your knowledge of the cuisines, like you said, history and techniques that you don't otherwise know. So it makes you more skilled. Again, just because you graduate doesn't mean you're going to be the top paying in your field at all. You still have to work and you have to build your client base, and you build your client base by giving out quality all the time. That means you present yourself in a professional manner and your food is always top notch. You don't miss.
For sure. Speaking of monetary, have you ever ran across a client that wanted a caviar dinner off of a drive-through budget? What do you? I want to hear both of y'all. Like, what do you do with that type of client? Because I know what I've done in the beginning when I wanted the business, and I know what I'll do now. And then I'm a little bit wiser. What do you guys do with the type of opportunity when somebody wants? And maybe it's a let's just say it's a celebrity type person who wants this elaborate situation, and their budget is not so budget friendly. But as a chef, you make it see the opportunity in the situation. Would you take it, or how do you handle it with a client like that?
for me, not necessarily with the celebrity, but just because, like I said, all of my clients, anyone that hires me is a rock star as far as I'm concerned, because that's the treatment they're going to get. Just that across the board. But I've had people reach out to me, and I remember a lady wanted to do, and because I also cater, so a lady reached out to me and she wanted to do an anniversary dinner, plated, which is the highest level of service, for 100 people, and she had a $500 budget. So, yeah. So I had to explain to her. I said, "Well, your budget."
How many people?
100. So it's like five. You can't even get a Happy Meal for $5. That's not even $5 a person, because once you add tax, it's less than $5 per person. And you want it plated. So that means staff. I need anyway, so I had to explain to her. I said, so your budget and your menu requests, not only do they not match, they're not even speaking to each other. You know, that is, you cannot pay someone. I said, now, can you buy the groceries? Absolutely. You can buy groceries to feed 100 people for $500. You could. Now it's going to be raw. It's, you can't get anybody to cook it or serve it. And it's based on your menu. So I try to educate people along the way. So then I tried to guide her and help her. I mean, I ended up, no, I did not take the job because it wasn't worth my time. But I also try to educate people on, I'm just not going to, no, it's just no.
What do you think? Have you been faced with people trying to book you and don't have enough money, but you like, have you ever been like torn, like, damn, I could do it, but have you ever been torn between doing it and not doing it? And then like, how do you navigate through that conversation?
Well, luckily, being a corporate chef, I don't have to deal with those kind of things. I have a whole sales guy or a sales team, but I have been on, those calls or been in the same room. Even when, I was with my last company, we're sitting in front of, these guys are spending $1,000. They want 900 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people, to come and enjoy the food. And they will penny pitch, even though they're bringing 500 people. So, for example, this one time, well, it happened multiple times, but this one time we had an event. And this event was for about 500 people. How about these people showed up with 150 people and expecting them for food to last the whole entire night? And that's why it's very important. Like, if you have to stand on your grounds when you come to catering. If you start to bend and bow and break and you start getting these repeated clients, they want the same deal they want the last time. And eventually you start losing money. So wherever the standard is in the beginning, it has to be the standard all the way through. If that client's going to be a repeat client one time, it has to be the same standard, because that a lot of times in culinary is word of mouth. He treated me real good. I'll book him next. And if you hear that person got a discount, guess what they want? They want a discount. And at some point, you just start losing money.
So now I'm going to ask a tougher question. When it comes to dealing with Black people trying to book you, he said everybody like, oh, Lord. How did you navigate the conversation with our people when they're trying to book you for the discount? You just flat tell them, no, you can't do it? Because I had clients, not that I'm against it now, but I had clients say, look, they gave me the rundown. They're like, I got a food stamp card. My hunger got a food stamp card. Like, we just buy the food off of that. And then, could you do it like that? And I was like, yeah, I could do it like that. But they were saying like, they'll buy all the food and then not pay me. I'm like, no, like I still got to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? So Chef T, have you had any like horror stories of how people trying to book you? And do you feel disrespect when they do that?
Absolutely. Because I feel like, because you see the melanin in my skin matches the melanin in your skin. So you think, you my brother, you my sister, I owe you what? No, no. And that's what I have to explain to people. You understand that I went to school for this and I had to pay for this knowledge. This ain't a backyard barbecue. And it may, you know, it takes a skill set to do this. The planning,
Shopping.
preparation, yes, shopping, prepping, cooking, staffing. It's a whole production. And then if they want decor, then tablescaping. Oh my goodness, it's so much stuff. It's so much stuff. And you want it for the low. I remember a lady asked me one time, she said, what do you have for $15 a person? $15 a person. You can get a dessert item. You could probably get like a half a dozen cupcakes.
Damn.
Yeah, no, there's no menu item I could give you. And again, it's just about education. I have to stand my ground. Because like Dorian said, once you start, the more you lower your prices or the more you bend, the worse the clientele is. You get more and more of the same people that you do not want. I have what's called, and I'm plagiarizing this because I read a book and I can't remember the name of it right now, but what is it called? The red velvet, the red rope. Like when you're going down the red carpet. Yeah. So everybody that wants to hire me cannot get in. You can't get in. You can't have access to me. It's only people that meet a certain criteria. You have to understand my worth, my value, and the work that I'm putting into what you're requesting. And once you understand that, then we can talk. But no, not everybody. And I love that. Working for me, I don't have to take every job. And I'm happy to say, you know what? Go to hireachef.com.
Yep.
You know, yep. I'm totally okay if you want to go and try to find somebody else, or I'll refer you. But no, I definitely would not be able to do it.
Chef D, since you've been a chef, how many times have you got called upon to do less than what you're worth type of work for people? And my main question: do you feel like a sense of obligation to do it anyway? You know it's not worth it.
No, I don't feel obligated. If the numbers don't match for your time, then don't do it. You know, the most valuable thing we have in the world is time. You know, You should get compensated for your time.
Yeah.
And to answer that first question, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I keep it. You know, I'm a loose cannon with this, but work like black clients, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of the worst. I hate to say it. I know I'm probably gonna get red flag, and people gonna
wait, hold on. You said
it's the worst.
Working with YT clients are worse than working with black clients?
No, working with black clients are worse than working with black
people
clients.
of color. People of color.
Man. I know I'm probably gonna get people get mad, and I'm probably it's the worst. And the reason is
tell the truth, man.
It's like when something goes bad, it's automatic. I want a discount. Or when something is going good, I still want a discount. Or why isn't this like this? Or why isn't that like that? I paid too much money for this. You should be having this. I should be getting more. You know, you gave me these little bitty shrimp. I should be getting like 100 of these things for the amount of money I paid. And you're like, oh my God. He's like, it's the same experience. I'm providing you the same experience. I will give the next person, the next person, the next person. And your dollar doesn't change that value, you know? It's but it's the worst, man. I try to uphold a standard no matter who walks in the door, what color, shape, size, how tall you are. You know, the standard's the standard. You know, that's always been taught in the culinary industry. Always uphold your standard, no matter if it's, you know, whoever comes in the door. If it's, because I worked at Four Seasons in Atlanta, you know, we always dealt with A-list clients. No matter if it's an A-list client or somebody you grew up with, give them the same treatment, the same standards, the same values, and you always come out on top.
Wow. Now, when it comes to costing, this is an area where I noticed, because I did a little bit of consulting a couple of years ago for caterers and chefs. When it comes to pricing, what should be the price structure? If I'm a Chef T, if I'm a personal private chef, how should I cost myself out? How should I price myself out? Without getting to all the math, like what should be a standard I should keep in mind when somebody want to book me? If I got a booking coming up for this weekend to feed a dinner party for 20 people, what should be my automatic go-to standard that I structure my costs around?
In 2025, it kind of went up a little bit, but standard was like 3 times cost. So whatever your food cost was, 3 times that. But now I'm a part of a catering community, and I'm seeing that in some of the Like New York, California, and those areas are doing like 4 times cost. So 3.5 to 4 times cost.
Chef D, have you had the price of stuff out? How do you price your stuff?
Pricing right now, it would be, what's market value, especially when it comes to these big cuts of meat like beef, 8-cut chicken wings. Sometimes you can get a case of 8-cut chicken cheaper than you get chicken wings. It's ridiculous. But a couple of years ago, with everything, the borders and whatnot, the shutting down, the ships being out at sea because they can't get in the port, we was looking at 16% inflation. It was steadily going. Avocados, eggs, the bird flu. We were trying to figure out how to make recipes, a pastry item with liquid eggs instead of whole eggs because we couldn't get whole eggs, and it makes a difference. So it's all about, the market value. I still want to give you the same good food, but I'm not also, going to take a big hit. It's also always the market drives, your food costs. Right now at a university, I'm doing about $3.20 a person for my plate cost. Like I try to stay anything below. When I was my last company catering, the sky was the limit, because big profile catering company, plate cost, who cared, just charging for it. But right now in the university, it's about $3.20 a person.
And for those in college or been to college who never knew that there is a driving food cost factor behind how you guys eat in the cafeteria. I was executive chef for Norfolk State and for Hampton University. So when I tell you fried chicken Fridays, good Lord Almighty, man. They gave us another little extra 50 cents for that kind of stuff, but there's the budget for that. So I want to speak to, like, as a personal private chef or caterer, if you're working for yourself, here's the advice that I want to give you. Be sure to first of all, create a cost that you want to get paid first. Your hourly rate for yourself. For me, my hourly rate is different from my food cost. So on the invoice, they're going to see chef service. That's me. That's how many hours it's going to take to perform said task. I include the menu development. I include the shopping. I include the preparation. I include the delivery and cleanup. So it may look like $1,700 just for me. And we haven't talked about food yet. Then I go and do your food costs. Your food costs may be $10, $20, $30, $40 per person, depending on what you're going to get. Then if you need plates, I'm going to charge you for the plate rental and for the forks, and for the napkins, and for the servers, and for the busboy. And you might have a $16 invoice by the time I get finished, but it's going to be costed out appropriately. What I saw in Atlanta, a lot of chefs were taking catering gigs. Say it was a small catering, they may get $1,500, but they're charging $1,500 for everything inclusively, and they're going out trying to shop and penny pinch to make the menu work, and they may walk away with $1,000 and they think, oh, I made a lot of money. You didn't make shit because you didn't calculate how much time you put in to the shopping before, and then the cleanup, and then the breakdown. Then you had rentals. So for me personally, as a personal private chef, to just book me is about $1,500 plus starting to book me. Then your food costs. Then we talk about your menu and your food and da-da-da-da. It'll never be a time where you pay me $2,500 and that's everything all in. Like, it's not all in because I don't rock like that. A lot of chefs do that. A lot of chefs just, calculate a big number and it looks great and they get the money and they go try to scavenger food and make it work and not realize you don't put in about 15 hours on this one little situation. That's from talking to the client, creating the menu, grocery shopping, prepping, putting it in your car, driving there. Like, we do all the hours at it, you're probably making about $12 an hour. You're making less than minimum wage.
Which is nothing, right? Which is nothing.
Even though it seems like, I got $1,000 after the event was over with. You didn't make diddly squat, for real. So I just encourage chefs that are listening to take your time, do the math. If you run a larger operation, because personal private chef, we really don't have a need for inventory for real. Not food inventory, not too much, but equipment inventory, of course. So I just want to talk about real quick calculating food costs. And when I was going into different restaurants, consulting them, trying to fix their P&L, trying to correct a lot of the pricing structure on the menu, and like doing a restaurant rescue situation. I've done about 6 restaurants in my career that I was seriously dedicated to. And operationally, they were just performing really poor because they didn't know how to calculate food costs. So to calculate food costs, as on the screen, calculate the food costs by adding the beginning inventory purchase to subtract the ending inventory, or calculating the cost for an individual dish by summing the cost of its components. This is the part that a lot of chefs do not want to do. They just don't do it. They don't know how to do it. They don't know the operation of food percentage. They don't even create P&Ls for their business. They're just cooking food. It'll behoove you to, as the chef mentioned, if you get a case of chicken at a discount, run a special for the month for that chicken. Like run chicken cacciatore, chicken piccata, chicken them out, because you only paid $40 for that case of chicken breast. Like you don't have to keep going back to the store buying new items every single time. So this is the stuff that I want to see chefs learn, even when they come to Chefpreneur Academy, is how to structure your business in such a way to where you begin to make money. I haven't personally, other than the personalities on TV, I have not personally met a wealthy chef.
But not on TV, no.
I haven't met one yet. I haven't met a chef like, yeah, man, I'm killing over here. They probably are doing well and they're breaking even, but I guarantee you they're in the business. They're not sitting on the island somewhere in the business running itself. Now you will find people who are in restaurants or who have a restaurant, but I guarantee you they're investors on the back end. I haven't met a chef who owns his own restaurant. Not saying it's not out there, but I haven't met a chef to where out the mud, he has his own restaurant with no investors involved. I haven't met one yet.
No.
And when I asked the question, this is to you guys as well. Think about it for a second. Name me 2 chefs that you know personally that has retired from chefing. Exactly. Exactly. That's every time.
Crickets.
Every time. You won't retire from
All the
chefing.
ones I know, they're at retirement age, man. They're still moving it, man.
Because as a chef, you just cook and then you die. That's it.
Yeah.
And we're here to change that, man. We're here to change that mindset. Get you guys thinking a little bit differently about being a chef. Okay, you make great food. Great, cool. Cool. What are you doing? What else are you doing? Like, where are your custom hot mitts with your logo on? Do you have a logo? Like, are you able to license your image to another company, another entity, whatever the case is? What other facets can you do to bring in income as a chef? You still gonna be a chef. So for me personally, I never wanted to be in a position where I was always executive chefing, because as a sous chef, I would always see this guy come through the kitchen with a suit on. I tell the story all the time, like, who is that? He's like, oh, that's the F&B manager. I'm like, oh, what do you do? Oh, the chef works for him. Oh, okay. Who's the other guy? He's the owner? Oh, shit, I need to be them then. I don't want to be here with y'all that smelling like food all the time. So at that point, I had like a awakening. Like, I learned everything about the kitchen already. I know how to cook. I know how to fry. I know how to order. I know how to do vendors. I know how to do all this stuff as an executive chef. What is the next level? The next level is F&B. Become an F&B director. Became an F&B director. Like, all right, this is cool. Who does he work for? The owner? Oh, I want to be an owner then. You know, and I think a lot of chefs, a lot of cooks in the industry don't have that. Not so you have to have that mentality, y'all. Just, forgive me for talking, but I would encourage you guys at some point, man, like, try to go beyond where you are. And that's why I asked about school a little bit earlier, which I'm so glad Chef mentioned earlier that he's going back to get his bachelor's and then his master's, because this is a career field where your certifications mean everything.
Yes.
The more you're certified in something, not to say you got to have all these little. I ran out of room with my name, but you got to have all that CPC, CC. That doesn't matter, not really, but it can help though.
It can. I would like to chime in on that.
Go ahead, please go ahead.
This is a message for anybody that's in the culinary industry. Learn what's on the screen right now. If you want to learn how to get in like a good, high-paying job, an executive chef, chef de cuisine, food and B, learn food costs, P&Ls, learn the money side. Anybody can cook. I can go get somebody to cook for me. I can get anybody to do anything culinary-wise. But to sit behind the desk and sit behind a computer or a laptop and look at those numbers and understand them is a hard task. I spend 4 to 5 hours out of my 9-hour shift looking at numbers, just looking at what is the business doing, where we're losing money, how's the inventory, how's the food costs, looking at the recipe, then going out and checking my cooks to make sure they follow the recipe. I have about 10 cooks, in the morning and about 10 cooks, at night. So I had to go out and make sure they're using the broccoli for the broccoli dish, not using asparagus or using something else, because it's not cost for that. So you have to sit there and look at these numbers. This is the most important thing in the culinary industry. If you can sit behind that laptop or desk or whatever and understand where your money is coming from, what's your revenue, what's your loss, you can get any job. To be honest with you, I lost my job a couple months ago. I got laid off. And I put on my resume that I know how to control costs, look at inventory, look at P&L. I had so many interviews. I wasn't even out of a job for less than 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And just because on my resume, I put that I understand the number aspect of being a chef, my phone and my email never stop. So learn the number part, learn to cook. Yes. Learn how to make the mother sauces, roux, how to butcher. Good. Won't take that away from you. But if you want to go to the next level and get where everybody wants in the culinary industry, more money, understand the numbers.
Because like you said, anybody can cook.
Yeah, perfect.
Anybody can cook.
And I think people think because they can cook that's the leg up they get. I want to talk about something you just talked about as far as resumes. Now, as an executive chef or working for corporate industry, we oftentimes are tasked with hiring people, doing interviews. I probably started maybe 3 or 4 different restaurants and started from scratch, sifting through resumes, looking at people qualification. That's one thing I do look for an executive chef when I hire an executive chef, other than if they can cook for real, is how do they handle numbers in the budget. And when I tell you, going through resumes, when I've had to take my chef hat off a couple of times and just talk to our people, like, your resume is fucking horrible. There has to be a resume writing course for chefs, because sometimes chefs they've worked in different entities and they don't know how to really translate the information. And they can say stuff like, "Oh, I worked for I don't know, I was an executive chef for assisted living facility, or I was executive chef at this college, or executive chef here and there," and they never have numbers on there. They never have numbers on there. And as a hiring manager, I look for numbers. How many people have you managed? What was the last budget? And when I asked the question, your managed inventory number. What was your managed inventory number? Was it 1.2 million? And I'm gonna give y'all a hack to this shit now. You trying to make 100,000+ as an executive chef or F&B director? They look at your managed volume, meaning your own hand managed volume. How much is it? Between 1.2 million and 2 million, it's a certain bracket you get paid for that, for managing that. For 2.4 million and above, it's another bracket you get paid for that, right? I learned this from a recruiter years ago. Mm-hmm. So on my resume, which I'll share my resume. I don't care about it. This is all about being transparent, man. I want people to win. Everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I probably need to update this crap anyway. But anyway, I had so much stuff on here, and I had the opposite problem, Chef. I had to create 3 resumes because it was just too much on there. And you got too much shit on there. I'm like, damn. So I had to dumb it down a little bit on there. Then I had to make another resume for as a teacher. So there's different styles of resume. I want you guys to listen to this stuff, man. It's a different style of resume. On your resume, you have to have numbers on there. So off the top, the first thing you see, corporate senior culinary operations manager, cook unity, you see overseeing $3.5 million in food production, $2.4 million in supply inventory. Off the top, if I was looking for somebody to handle a large operation and my operation fit within this scope of 3.5 to 2.4 million, I probably would consider this person right here. As far as numbers. Then I did QA, blah, blah, blah. Ownership right here. F&B director. First thing they see right here, oversee $2.4 million in inventory, ensuring financial targets are consistently met and exceed. That means the performance, the P&Ls are on point. When you create your resumes, please put numbers in there. What is the managed volume? How much are you focusing on? What are you leading? How many people are you leading? How many are you over 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 5 people? You always see the numbers stand out first in your qualifications. How many 2,000 plus meals a day, managing 4.4 million in food production, 2.3 million in inventory. Director of 125 members, team across the kitchen operation. Like those are the things that stand out on the resume. And I'm saying this from a hiring manager. I've hired people before. Richard Chef done the same thing. You're hiring people to run an operation or to be your second in command or your sous chef, whatever the case is you're looking for. Numbers are very important. Not one time did I say that I cook for anybody, that I can cook some macaroni and cheese, I can make this, I can cook that. They don't care about that.
Mm-mm.
Can you handle the inventory? Can you handle the numbers? Like Chef said, can you sit down for 4 or 5 hours a day, which is, boy, that shit is a lot. Sit down 4 or 5 hours a day looking at numbers, making sure Cisco and PFG, the orders coming through the back door and somebody expecting the food, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So you guys have three different perspectives, executive chef in the industry, 2 personal and private chefs, telling you guys it's important if you're trying to find a job, is to take your resume up and get right with that. So my bad, I'm on a tangent about that because that shit burned me.
I wish I could show you my resume. The first thing that's on my resume is my education background. That's the first thing you see. Because not gonna lie, if you have more than 2 pages, nobody's gonna read the 3rd page.
Right, that's true.
If your job, what you did is your job is too long, nobody's gonna look past the 3rd bullet. You know, you got it. Wherever's the most important thing, you have to put that to the top. So if you ran a kitchen for 50 people, 50 cooks, put that at the top. You generated X amount of revenue, put that at the top. You did whatever with the inventory, put that at the top. Because you want that first glance, because recruiters, they see 300 some odd resume for one job. You know, they're quickly scanning through. They're not, you know, you're a line cook at whatever, don't care. You know, they're gonna throw it to the side. Oh, you made $5.5 million at this account, you know.
Ding,
my
ding.
account right now, it's about a 5.5. You know, I've been at an account that was about 15 mil. So about 15 mil. So big difference. And when people say, well, dang, that's 5 mil, it's a big difference between 15 mil and 5. Big difference.
Yeah.
So you got to put those things up at the top so that recruiter can see those, you know, attributes. You know, your military service, if you're with ACF, put those things out there. So that's the first thing they see. And another thing was a recruiter told me was take your address off the
Really?
your resume. Because recruiters look to see how far you're away from the job. How quick are you going to be late all the time because of traffic?
Oh, wow.
You know,
That makes sense.
I did not know this. This is something that I went through, you know, with my job loss. You know, I was speaking with a actual recruiter. He was like, take this off, you know, take off your address, because they will literally Google your address and see how far you're away from that account. And they'll be like, oh, he's 45 minutes away. That's too far. They try to get anything with under 30 minutes. So to avoid traffic, avoid being late, wherever the reason may be.
Boy, hey, listen, you put me on game about that.
Yeah.
Now I'm about to take my address off now. Snellville probably ain't helping. I'm trying to get a job in Atlanta.
Well, I live in Locust Grove, so imagine that, you know.
Wow.
And a lot of the work is in Atlanta. You know, there's no work on the South Side.
Right.
So when I took that address off, 100% different, you know, because nobody knew where I was. You know, I'm not saying lie, you know, but they gave me a good shot to get in front of somebody's face, this, you know, for a role. So once I took that address off, you know, people were like, okay, you know, how far are you away? I'm about 30 minutes. You know, they ain't gonna tell you how I'm gonna get there, but I'm within 30 minutes.
right. It's funny traffic and shit.
That's good.
Listen, man. I truly hope that everybody watching, that will watch this a little bit later, man, that you guys gain a little bit of insight. Shoot the questions over, man. Post a question. We're streaming on Facebook. We on both Facebook. We on YouTube. We on Twitch right now. You know, Instagram also streaming. So if you guys have any questions at all, man, feel free to holler at us. Chef, where can we find you at? If people want to look you up, man.
Instagram at ddavis6774.
And there it is. So we can talk about this. You're in the Army.
I was a Marine for 8 years.
Marine. Okay. Oh, my bad. Big difference, y'all. Big difference.
And no, I wasn't a cook. How I got into culinary was kind of crazy. You know, I got out of Marine Corps in 2018. I was a truck driver for a little bit. And that's, that picture right there, some of the best chefs, you know, in the world in that picture right there. You know, but I was a truck driver for a couple of years. And my friend says, hey, man, what are you going to do as a career? You're going to be a truck driver? You're going to do something else? You're going to go to school? I was like, I don't know, man. You know, I don't know what I want to do. He said, you should go to culinary. Why should I go to culinary? Because military guys know how to follow directions. Reading a recipe would be good for you. Listen to the instructions from what a chef would tell you will also be good for you. So I was like, you know what? I'll do it. Now, I went ahead and applied for artists to Atlanta. And my friend told me, he's like, if you can afford it, quit being a truck driver and go get you a industry job. What does that mean? He's like, because nobody cares about your paperwork. They care about your experience. You start now. By the time you're down the road, you got your degree. Later on, boom, you be walking in the door making some kind of money. Right. I quit. When I go be a breakfast cook making $10 an hour at
Waffle House.
Hilton Garden Inn at in Lithonia. And now I'm here. So I really truly appreciate his advice.
Wow. Journey, man. Hey, it's all part of the journey. When I got out military, I was working in the shipyards. I was nowhere in culinary. But while I was in, I was a cook while I was in though. And I had a chance to go to different culinary, I think 3 different culinary schools while I was in. A school called Starkey's, no longer exists. Went to Fort Lee, Virginia, to the Army, because Army kicks butt in culinary in the military. They do, man. The Army boys be cooking. Quartermasters be getting it in. And when I got out, I didn't know. Like being a chef wasn't even an option. Like I don't be no damn chef. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go figure some other stuff out and end up getting accepted to culinary school. It was Johnson and Wales at the time, but they switched to Culinary Institute of Virginia. Ended up going there and fell in love with it. Like this is easy. Now I will tell you this though. Now egos had to be killed because I'm like I done cooked for 10 years in the military. You know, I worked in flag mess. I worked for the Admiral. Going to culinary school, I went in with the ego, like, man, this ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? This ain't shit. You know, my first class was knife handling. I'm like, knife handling? I don't want to do this shit. I want to get to the fancy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I had the biggest ego, man, and just like I had the roughest time the first couple of weeks in there. And Chef Burroughs, man, great guy. Chef Burroughs came to me. He said. He gave me the whole empty cup scenario. You'll learn a lot more. But what he did was he said he'd been cooking for 30 plus years, and he just graduated culinary school 2 years prior to teaching. He said, out of 30 years, I never went to culinary school. He said, I promise you, if you come in, act like you don't know nothing, you'll learn a lot more. So I had to drop my ego. And when I tell you I did that through my whole culinary venture, I learned about knives, the kill, the steel, and I didn't know none of that stuff. I'm like, damn, it's like, you know, I didn't know a lot of stuff. So he was like, keep that same attitude through your whole career. When you go into a situation, act like you don't know nothing, and you'll learn a lot more. And that's the best advice I ever got from a chef. You know, even though you don't cook for all these great people, and you don't did TV, did all this great stuff, anytime you go into a space, act like you don't know nothing at all. And I ain't gonna lie, at first it was hard. Because you see people who don't know nothing about nothing, you got to act as dumb as they are. But he said, when you do that, you allow yourself to learn who's in the room, and you allow yourself to learn what needs to happen at that point. So my entire career path has been like that. And my first job out of the military was working for a Todd Jewett Bistro. This man paid me $12 an hour. All my background, all that stuff. He said, give you $12 an hour. And I took it because I wanted to work under a master chef. Like he could have said $5 an hour. I would have still took it.
Right. To get the knowledge.
To gain the information and the knowledge. And I'm glad I did it, man. So when you said $10 an hour and you took it, bro, listen, for anybody that loves this industry, love this game, at some point in time along our career, we've all done it. to get where we are. But look where you at now because of that. You know what I'm saying? So those who are listening, it ain't if you if you thinking about making this a career, no, this is not a glorious career. We have our moments. We have our moments. Thank you, Chef, and appreciate it, Chef. And he's a chef. When I came into the industry, being a chef wasn't that glamorous. Since last 8-10 years, being a chef you can be a rock star now. But back then, a chef was the dirtiest job you can have. Like that's like you're a dirty cook. You know what I'm saying? Now the game has changed a little bit. So anybody thinking about going into the industry, man, please consider everything we just said tonight. Like you got to kind of make it your own. You got to own it. You got to be in it. And you got to be more than passionate for it. Like you just can't have a passion for cooking. Like passion sizzle out at about 4 or 5 years. You got to have a love for this stuff, man.
Yeah.
So Chef, before we go, I'm gonna ask you the infamous question: what's your favorite thing to cook?
Grills, man. I love barbecue.
Your grill, man.
Yep. Anything on the grill, man. Like I love like the flame. My favorite time was working at Disney at the Yachtsman Steakhouse. Yeah. And we had a wood burning grill, man. That thing was so hot and I loved it. Just look at the fire and hearing the sizzle. And I love anything on the grill, making ribs, briskets, anything like that. That's my thing.
Listen, I just learned how to grill 3 years ago, y'all. Like I've been inside the kitchen. I never went out. I mean, my uncles and everybody, they like grill masters. You know what I'm saying? I'm still taking notes from them. So Chef, when you go home around your family, do they ask you to cook?
Yeah, they do, man. That's the worst to tell your family no. Like they don't understand. Like, that's all I do all day. I want to cook.
I
don't want to cook. They're already asking me Thanksgiving, what you gonna do? You gonna smoke a turkey? You gonna do this? I'm like, man. But y'all don't understand. By the time we have Thanksgiving, I don't cook it like 6-7 times already.
Right.
Right. Okay. Hey, Chef, man, thank you for tapping in with us, man. We definitely appreciate you for your time. Go follow Chef Davis, man. DDavis6774 over on Instagram. Go give him a Grammy. Great guy. Pots and pans, but man.
For real.
I want to tell this story about Chef T real quick.
Go ahead, please.
We was in class and we're cooking all our food. We ain't got nothing but salt and pepper, to season with. And we're sitting here cooking all this food, and we're like, man, Chef always gonna be on our ass, man. What's going on? She takes everybody's food. Oh, this is trash. Boom. This is terrible. Oh, you could have did this.
Gordon Ramsay.
She gets the tease and she's like, oh my God, this food is so delicious. What's going on? Oh, she's like, I just followed the recipe. We was like, lie. She bring her seasonings from home.
Was she?
Her own seasoning.
Facts.
And season her own food.
Sneaking. You was not following the recipe. You deviated.
No, she wasn't. I've been waiting.
I'm using my creative license, okay?
It was not following the recipe. It had everybody out there,
Dorian,
man.
I did share with you guys later after I was caught. I did share.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on, man. She had complete seasoning up under her sleeve and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a whole stash in the trunk of my car. It was a separate backpack. We had our culinary bag and I had a separate backpack. I'm like, they give us the cheapest stuff. That's not how I roll. So when they start talking crazy, I'm like, I need to go to the restroom. Go down there and get my bag out the car. I'm like, that's what's up.
Come back, just dropping it on there, and it's like, it tastes like adobo. No, it's not adobo.
With the red top.
Red top, okay.
But I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. Love to come back anytime. Love talking in the kitchen.
What I want to do, I want to invite you out to the to the kitchen, man. We're over at the Atlanta Shared Kitchen. We have our own space over there now. So we're about to kick off these courses in January. We'd love to get you out at some point if you're interested in hosting cooking classes or trying to instruct people, whatever the case is. The door is wide open for that.
And they have a grill. They have a grill, Dorian.
No, just send me the info, man. I'm always down. I love the people.
There. You know what I'm saying? I want to get more of us in front of us to tell us how to eat. And that's one thing that I'm real big on in cooking classes is telling people, we're teaching them how to eat, nutrition, dietary stuff, all that jazz is the cooking class I have. The biggest one I had like 40 people in there. Yeah. And I'm talking about eating according to your blood type, how to properly blanch stuff, how to properly cook stuff. And we only use salt and pepper in my classes too, by the way. Listen.
We shall see.
I'm telling you, you're gonna see it's just salt and pepper on the table, and you know, black people, they walking like, that's all we using. I say, ain't no Zatarans in here. Hey, Zatarans, ain't no Zatarans in here. Ain't no Laurie's, ain't none of that stuff in here. And by the time it's time to eat, man, they mind be so blown how great it tastes. I said, that's all we need, y'all. We don't need the extra additives and the extra preservatives and the extra red dye, yellow number 7s in our food, because I showed them the technique. We use fresh garlic, fresh oregano, everything is fresh, all fresh herbs.
That makes a difference. Yeah.
I taught them how to sweat and saute the onions to extract all the flavors out of the onions. Then we start to build our stock on top of it. And when they eat, bro, they're like, this is salt and pepper? Oh my God, it's so crazy. I'm like, yeah, this is how it tastes, salt and pepper. Now, I'm not saying you got to go home and clean your cabinet out, but I'm sure you got another way to eat, because we're the highest candidates for heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. And all those are curable through food. And as chefs in the industry, it's our responsibility to teach our people how to eat.
Yes.
Properly. So the door's open anytime. Chef, man, appreciate you so much. Chef T, thank you so much. Thank y'all, man. Y'all have a great week, man. Amazing week.
Yes, make it amazing.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Peace and love, y'all.
My name is CS1 Sylvester Jones. I'm from Lakeland, Florida.
What brought me to Chefpreneur